Took a 1 hour loss live, but was able to recover. Let's take a look. Alright guys, in the daily recap for today, August 11th, 2022. Traded by myself today. Franco and Beto weren't with us. Live, you guys saw me take a loss on a breakout long. I was able to recover. I got a nearly a 3R winner a little bit after we went offline. So you'll see I've ended the day green. Let's go ahead and take a look. The first trade, which was a loser, 0.83R loss. It was a 2R plan trade. This is the one that I took live during the session. If you guys remember, we had a news event at 8:30 PPI. We did not break it. We tested it still in the pre-market, but we stayed inside of the range of the news for quite a while. We opened right around here at 9:30, stayed in the range up until after 10 a.m. So the first 30 minutes we stayed inside of that range. Finally, we broke out. 5-minute candle closed up here in this area. And I had originally a limit order down here for a pullback to get in long, right? I planned the breakout, pullback, get in long. Was looking like maybe we were going to get filled when this candle was created here. But when this doji formed and price started to move back up, I put a buy stop above here. I did want to be aggressive getting into this trade today. I thought that it could go quite a bit today, could run, and so I was aggressive getting in. Very okay with the trade. It went 1-to-1 here, but then pulled back quite a bit. This was 10:30 a.m., so in the 30 minutes from 10 to 10:30, it went up, got to 1R for me, but then pulled back. Still had my stop down here. I actually thought when the new 30-minute candle opened that I was just going to get stopped out on the on the volatility of the new 30-minute. Price did push up, but did not break to a new high, and then just came crashing down from there. When I created this pivot and did not break this new high, I tightened up my stop a little bit. That's why it wasn't a full 1R loss, just the 0.83. But essentially it was a full loss. I just saved a little bit of money there, knowing that if it broke this neckline created there, the double top with the neckline, this was likely to continue to go further down. And so tightened up my stop a little bit closer to this pivot. But I did end up getting stopped out. If we take a look at the advanced decline during the trade, the red dotted line is where I got in. And so price opened here, pulled back, and then started to trend up, broke the 21 EMA, and this is when I got in the trade, and then price pushed up. This is where I got to 1-to-1. But then reverse from there, and we can see what the rest of the day looked like here. And here was my trade as well on the tick chart. Price opened up at an extreme high, right? We gapped up, but price did pull back. Or the tick did pull back, but it stayed in positive territory. Kept testing these high areas. I did mention on the live session that this was the highs here were trending down. And right before I got in the trade on the pullback, it made a new low in the 2 minutes prior to me getting in. And when it made a new low, but price didn't actually, that was this red candle here. Price didn't really push down. That extreme move on the tick didn't push this down, which is when I decided to put the buy stop above, thinking that, okay, the tick chart is saying this should go lower, but price didn't actually even really respect this tick move at all. It was basically a micro pullback, and so I wanted to be aggressive getting in, got in on the buy stop. This was the first pullback that happened at 10:30. I was able to survive this one, but I was not able to survive this one and took a full loss. I know Python in the live session, he actually got out break even, on the first trade, but he did re-engage here, and I don't know if he got stopped out break even or not here on the second trade, but regardless. And then we went off live, but right before we went off live, again, I mentioned the double top and the neckline, and this kind of led into my next trade, right? So I got stopped out here. That was my first trade. But if we go ahead and take a look at my second trade, 2.82 R is what I made on it. I was very aggressive. We can actually read. So I was somewhat aggressive in the trade entry for me, but I'm working on taking more setups. So overall, this was a good thing, my trade. I've had, over the last couple of months, I had quite a few weeks of just like 1 or 2 trades a week, and I'm working to really increase that number, find more setups, take a couple more trades. Not a ton more trades, like I say in the live. Trying to be patient, trying to find 1 to 2 trades a day with the right setup, but there were weeks where I wasn't finding any setups or just missing out on the trade. So I've been working on my execution, getting into trades, being more decisive, and so that was this trade. And so, like I state here, I'm no longer having weeks of 1 or 2 trades. Lost the first breakout trade, double top form, neckline broke, waited for the continuation down, and that the internals confirmed a reversal. Got in on a pullback confirmation with very little heat. Was aggressive adding on as price quickly broke. You'll see now that I did actually add on to this trade. I started with 10 contracts, ended up with 15. Was aggressive adding on as price quickly broke down and the internals confirmed the move. I even added on again after I targeted out of the initial 10 contracts. And so let's go ahead and take a look, right? So this is where I got stopped out on the first trade. Long double top form, neckline broke and stopped me out. Price then tested that neckline again, broke down, and on the breakdown, when it came back up and started to break back down, this is where I got in short, right? My stop, I was risking, this was the top of the 5-minute candle at the time, so I was risking up to here, got in. When price broke these lows here, I was able to add on. I added 3 contracts on, and then I got out of my initial, my initial target was here, which was 2 to 1, but I actually brought it down lower to this pivot when I went to a little bit higher of a time frame. I thought for sure that it could test these lows and likely would test the lows of the news again. And so I actually moved my first 10 contracts, the target, down a little bit as price moved down, but I was able to add on here. When I added on, I still had I wasn't risking more. I actually moved my stop lower. Instead of risking this whole candle, I moved it down to risk the 5-minute candle that had formed here. So I was still really only, I still had the same amount of risk on. I didn't really end up risking any more money. If it was, because I was risking about $280 or around $300. Maybe I got up to $350. It wasn't like I was doubling up on my risk or anything like that. I still had a very good control and risk management in this trade. Price broke down, got out of my first 10 contracts, still had the 3 on. Price did hit the second target there, but it was only 2 contracts. I still had 1 contract left on with this target much lower beyond this zone here. And I still added on again. So at this point, I was in it for 13 contracts, got out of 12 of them, 10 up here, the other 2 down here. And then price chopped around there for a couple of minutes, and I was able to add on again. Oh no, this is when okay. So price chopped around here. This is the 5-minute. Let's see if we have a 2-minute. Yeah, let's go to this chart. Okay. First 10 contracts, next 2 contracts. price hung out here, I added on, I had one contract left at this point, I added on 2 more contracts here short. This screenshot is when I already got stopped out of the trade. So at this point I had 3 contracts. I got rid of the one contract here for profit. This was an add-on from here, so I got about 12 points out of this one. And then I only had the 2 contracts left. This was the targets on the 2 contracts that I had left, and it literally touched one of the targets here before reversing and stopping me out on both. Positive. It was a break-even trade on these 2 contracts that I got in short here, but terribly annoying because if you see here, I zoomed in and took a screenshot. Price literally touched my target and did not fill. It is what it is. This was a brand new 5-minute candle, and if I would have known that it was a 5-minute candle, I wasn't necessarily paying attention to that. If I would have known it was a new 5-minute candle, I ideally would have like closed it out manually or something like that, because as I always state, I hate new candle openings. Price can reverse very quickly, and when I'm that close to target, I'd rather, even if I risk not making a few extra bucks on the trade for a couple of points, I'd rather just get out of the contract and lock in the money than what exactly happened here. It reversed and stopped me out for a break even on the last 2 contracts, but overall it was a great trade. Probably wouldn't have been as aggressive if I was live or if Franco was next to me, so that's why we like to trade together as a team and a group to kind of keep ourselves in check. Probably wouldn't have added on the last 2. The first 3 add-ons probably would have still added on. This is the advanced decline and the tick chart down here at the time of the trade and the add-ons. I got in here. Price finally broke back below the 21 EMA and was pushing down. This is about where we got off on the live, and I said, okay, price broke down, stop me out. Now, was this just a stop out move to continue moving up? And I said that I wanted to see here what happened here. Did we come back up to these highs and then come back down and reject upwards off of the 0 line or off of the level that like we had kind of created here around 250, right? Or did we start to break back down? And I got in on this, right? When price broke this low here, this is essentially around the time that I got in the trade, saying, no, we didn't even get back up to these highs. We got rejected pretty quickly and are now breaking this pivot low down here. And that's being confirmed by the advanced decline here. Then my add-on, the same thing. We had a pullback, and we started breaking down, and we broke to a new low again. And that was my add-on when price also broke a new low on the like the actual chart, on the actual price of the chart right here. So that was my first add-on there. And then my next add-on was actually this very aggressive pullback on the tick chart, but there was no aggressive move either on the advanced decline. It really just chopped around and went sideways here. And on the actual chart, it did not have an aggressive move. This was the pullback, but with such an aggressive move on the tick chart here, look at these 2 solid green candles pulling back quite a bit, breaking all of these highs. You would have expected that the actual chart was breaking levels to new highs, and it really didn't. So I added on here. I did take a little bit of heat on it, but it came crashing back down. I had the reinforcement of this high volume candle. You see the high volume candle was this candle here, and that was my reinforcement. I had the stop behind this candle. I was going to risk this entire 2-minute candle. Had a ton of volume in it in the push down. Not even a ton of volume in this one. It was actually still down here, so there was still volume in the push down, and so that was my reinforcements, why I added on there. Got a nice push, 5-minute candle, new 5-minute candle, touched my target but reversed and stopped me out. And so ideally I would have made over 3R on the trade, even with just closing out that one contract there would have gotten me to over 3R. I made 2.8R, So gotta be happy with that. Can't complain about that. Made my week now positive. I'm not positive on the week. Basically 1R, 0.92R. Hoping for a strong close to the week tomorrow. Not a, like, one winner, two losers, not a great win rate, but my risk to reward is fantastic, so still up on the week, right? Don't need to win every single trade. Don't even need to win more trades than I lose. Franco's win rate is 40 to 45%, but he takes basically 3-to-1 trades, so that win percentage is great for him. And so that's the recap today. Be back tomorrow, 9 a.m., pre-market analysis. 9:25 we go live. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.